Okay, so welcome everyone. Those that are listening live and for those that will listen to this in the recording, I give thanks for your presence here. My name is Yennefer, and today I want to talk about creating a legacy, or I want to talk about creating new legacies of wellness and wealth for your lineage. I am an entrepreneur, but I'm also a healer, and my mission is to help others and inspire others to wellness, holistic wellness, well-being in mind, body, and spirit, as well as wealth. And I do that through different modalities, but I started out as a yoga instructor, Kemetic yoga instructor, and then I have made my way into Kemetic Reiki, healing sessions, and other things. But overall, my message is to inspire others and to help others clear out obstacles along their path and become healthy in their bodies. So there are 3 points that I want to touch on today. And the first one is the power of prayer. The second one is healthy body, mind, and spirit. And then the last is the 4 commandments of wellness to live by. So let's just start with the mission to inspire wellness and wealth. So about a year ago, I became basically a lifestyle coach, which is kind of like a health coach, where I help people reduce their risk of diabetes. So people who were they had, a really high risk of diabetes. They were basically on the borderline. I helped them lose weight, learn how to make healthy choices when it comes to what they eat, get active, and all of that basically reduced their risk for contracting diabetes. Well, in preparing to be a health coach and a lifestyle coach, I was introduced and I learned a lot of statistics that affect mostly minorities that were just baffling. And they stuck to my heart so near and dear. So the one that I want to share is it's more likely for a black man with no education. That man has a 60% chance of 60% lower life expectancy than a non-black man with more education. And what that tells me is, it goes back to that verse, we perish because we do not know, or we perish because of lack of knowledge. So that really fueled me on my mission to support others, help others, and teach others, share knowledge and information about becoming well and healthy in body. We know that our bodies are temples, and our bodies house the spirit of God. And so we have a duty, not only to ourselves, but we have a duty as expressions of God here to honor our body. And so many of us are dying, and it really doesn't have to be that way. So today I really want to speak in reference to, we really don't have to have another. I really would like for us to take on the mindset of not another one. We don't have to have another person in our lineage or in our family die or suffer from disease on any level. We can make a choice today to be the inspiration for the family members that not only live in the household for us, but to also be an inspiration for our family members, our cousins and our aunts and our uncles and our grandparents and our great aunts and our great uncles. We can be an inspiration. We can be a light. So I just want to inspire, and I want to share with you today to be a light for your family when it comes to how you honor your body temple, what you choose to put in your body. And it's not as hard. I hear so many people share, oh, I don't know where to start. I have so many things wrong with me. I have so many ailments. I don't know what to do. It is not that hard. A rule of thumb is this: you are nature. You come from nature. You were created from nature. You are not separate from nature. Nature is you, and you are nature. So as a rule of thumb, try to eat or consume as natural as you can. Use that as your rule of thumb. And in all that you eat and all that you drink, be natural. So next, I want to talk about the power of prayer. And so to me, wellness, being well, is about holistic well-being. And by holistic, I mean mind, body, and spirit. So it's very important to take care of your body, which is the temple of God. But it's also important to nurture your spirit, to nurture your mind. And you have to sow seeds into well-being every day, because how you live every day is definitely how you live your life. How you experience your days is how you experience your life. So the power of prayer, we all know that life and death lies in the power of our tongue. We all know that we can get on our knees and we can put our hands together and we can pray, and we can, to whoever it is that we pray to, you can pray. We have spent so many years and so much time and so much energy studying and reading and learning. I don't know how much learning we've actually done, though, but we've spent lots of time reading. We've spent lots of time sitting in a pulpit and being preached to about the scriptures and about the word of God and about all of the promises that lie there for us. But how many of us actually utilize, how many of us actually step out in faith and on faith into the promises that have been shared and have been told to us and that we've been preached to? So in nurturing and sowing seeds of nurturance, if that's the word, into your mind and into your spirit, I inspire you today. I share with you, I encourage you and motivate you today to begin to utilize all of the promises, utilize the power that lies there within your religion, the power that lies there in prayer, the power that lies there in meditation, the power that lies there in being faithful in spirit, being faithful in your heart, and being faithful in your mind. I just motivate and encourage you to step in and use that power that is available to you, and not to write off things such as health, things that come up as health-related or as disease-related, things that come up that you may think are minuscule or that are too small for you to take and offer up in prayer. There's no part of you that needs to be ignored, that needs to be shut off, that is valid. There's no part of you that is invalid. Every part of you needs to be loved. So it's an act of self-love. And when we choose to make parts of ourselves invalid, when we choose to ignore parts of ourselves, that is an act of unlove, of dislove. So I encourage you, every single little thing that matters to you, that is a matter to you, you need to add it to your prayer list. You need to add it to your whatever you do. If it's your prayer list, things that you pray about, if it's your meditation, your affirmations, whatever it is, add it there. So that is the power of prayer. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was 4 commandments of holistic well-being to live by. And I have 10 of them, but I'm only going to share 4 today. The first one is taking 100% self-responsibility. When you give your power away, you become helpless. When we point our finger, when we blame, when we put blame, or we feel shameful, when we choose to sit in the role of the victim in any situation, I don't care what it is. Even, and not to say that the situation, you may indeed be a victim, so to speak, or you may indeed be in the rightful place, or justice may be due to you. That may very well be true. But at any time we choose to completely fall into the role of a victim and play helpless, we give all of our power away. So there's not a situation that you can't have power in. So 100% self-responsibility. Today, we pick up 100% self-responsibility for everything in our lives, for everything that's going on within our spirits, for everything that's on our hearts, for everything that happened to us, past, present, and future. We take 100% responsibility from this day forth, and we begin to tap into the power. We tap into the tools that are available to us today, and we pick it all up, and we take responsibility, and we move forward. So that's number one. Number two is living every day as living with the consciousness of how I live every day is how I live my life. So this is where you bring in routines, you bring in rhythm, you bring in ritual into your life. You make every day a ritual. You make space for all of the things that you would like to see happening in your life. You make space for all of the things that you are calling into your life. You have to make the physical time and space for it inside of your day. So if you're calling in a healthier body, then you make space to sit down and eat a healthy meal. You make space in your budget to actually go out and purchase those foods for yourself. You make time in your day to prepare that meal, or you make time in your day to go eat out and receive that meal. If you're calling in healing for your heart, you're calling in healing for your emotions, you're calling in healing for your body, then you make time and space in your schedule, you make time and space in your money, in your budget, you make time and space in your heart and in your mind for that healing to take place. So you set aside time to actually cultivate activities to get in connection with people, to get in connection and utilize or learn tools that are going to feed that particular need. Okay? So you have to make the physical space for that. There's a law of physics that says no two things can occupy the same space at the same time. And I know that we know this speak more to actual physical things that exist, but just imagine for a moment that these things have a non-physical space that they take up. So you need to create the space, so to speak, for all of the things that you're calling into your life to exist. And there's a quote I'd like to share there. The true secret of happiness lies in the taking a genuine interest in all the details of daily life. Okay, so we hear a lot that the devil's in the details. We hear that a lot. And I'd like to say the angels are in the details too. Okay? So the devil could be in the details, but you know what? We're going to bring the angels in to be in the details of our lives, okay? And allow that to translate into the actual physical space around you, the physical space that you live in. Okay, so take the time to clean up the corners and the clutter and the closets in your life. Okay, all of the details, the dust on the crumbs on the table, the dust in the floor, in the corners, the old stuff, the old books, the old magazines, the old stuff, the box you haven't unpacked, the stuff in the garage. Take pleasure in attending to the details of your life, okay? That's number 2. The second commandment to holistic well-being. And the, so the third thing is, actually may only be sharing 3. So the third commandment, I like to call it being selfish. It's really time to get selfish. And by selfish, I mean becoming acquainted with the concepts of self-love, self-worth, self-value, and self-investment. We spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of space just giving ourselves away to other things, to other people, and to situations, to circumstances, to jobs in some cases that are not returning a value to us in a way that is going to propel us or progress us in the directions that we would like to go and in the directions that we are being called to go in. So if these terms are new to you, self-love, self-worth, self-value, and self-investment, I know from a few years ago, those terms were not in my vocabulary. I didn't know what they were. And it was life that began to teach me and show me what these things were. And then from that point, I began to study them. Okay, so it's really, really, really time to start paying attention to self. Okay, because although we are moving into the awareness that our world and all that we experience in life is only a reflection of who we are, because that is the design of the universe. But we're moving into that awareness, and so for so long we've been working backwards in, actually just pointing the finger at everything going on in our world and outside of us and saying, hey, this is wrong, that's not supposed to be that way. But that was all a reflection of our ignorance. And please don't take that word personally. I just mean ignorance in the very definition of what it means, and it's just the not knowing. Okay, so all of that was in welcome. All of that was just because we didn't know. Hi, welcome to the call. Could you please mute your phone?
I'm sorry. How do I do that? Just mute.
You just press mute. Thank you. So we were talking about the 4 commandments to holistic well-being, and we're on number 3, and that is selfish. I'm encouraging you to get selfish, but not selfish in the traditional sense of the word, but selfish as in becoming acquainted with the concepts of self-love, self-worth, self-value, and self-investment. And so I was speaking about paying attention to self. It's like the song that Michael sang, Man in the Mirror, and just inspiring everyone to look at yourself. But it's a huge message in that song. There is a quote, as above, so below. And the science of the universe tells us that everything on the outside of us is a reflection of us, because we are co-creators of our experience here on earth. And so as we move into the awareness of that truth, because it is indeed a truth, it is not a theory, it's the truth, we were made in the image and the likeness of God. Okay, so God in traditional scripture shares with us that in 7 days He created the earth or the cosmos and everything. In 7 days He thought it and He spoke it, and it was there. And He decided to make us, and so we were made in His likeness, in His image. Therefore, we are also creators. Okay, on a, I guess you can look at it as a smaller scale. Okay, so we are the microcosm of the universe. So as we move into the awareness that we're indeed working from the inside out, it will behoove you and be very valuable to you to become acquainted with being selfish in the sense of loving yourself, being aware of your self-worth and your self-value, and beginning to invest in yourself so that you can begin to produce more. You can begin to produce those things that you desire to see, but you also begin to produce according to your purpose, and produce according to your calling, and produce according to the divine harmony and to the divine nature of this existence in a way that blesses others, and in a way that is for the good of all. Because the more you are good to yourself, the more you're able to be good for others and to be good for this world and to be good for community. All of these things work together. So that's number 3 actually. And number 4 actually is sort of like a combination of 2 and 3, but it's about managing your energy. I call it energy management. And by energy, I'm referring to your time, your attention, your money, your thoughts, and your emotions. Manage those things and begin to organize your energy around things that are good for you, things that are feeding your soul, feeding your spirit, nurturing yourself, and that are in alignment with the goals and the desires that you're working towards manifesting. Bring some organization into your life, not only with, we talk about and spend a lot of time organizing our time. Some of us do anyways. We have planners, we have schedules, we have to-do lists. So I think we're good about managing our time. But what about your attention? What about your thoughts, and what about your emotions and your feelings? Those are untapped potential. They're like little battery chargers, and they all contribute to what we're creating every day. Okay, so our energy, what we give our attention to, our time to, our thoughts to, and our feelings to, that's what we create. That's what we attract, and that's what we bring into our lives. And not only what we're thinking about on a conscious level, but what our thinking is like on the subconscious level, things we may not be so aware of, but the things that we are sort of programmed to be because of from our childhood, that's the way that we are, or it could also be in our DNA, so it could be genetically, just some things that we have inherited. So starting to become aware of these things and to manage them all in an organized fashion and in a way that is in alignment with what it is that you're desiring and what it is that you're calling into your life and the directions that you're being called to go in. So what direction are you being called to go in? Have you sat down and got really clear on what it is you truly want, and have you decided that you will make it happen for yourself? You will attract the things and the tools, the resources, the people, the money that you need to make it happen, that you will manifest, that you will step out on faith, that you will realize the potential that you know is in you, and receive the blessings and receive all the things that you know that you can have. So I invite you now to join the Mindset Mastermind. This is a group led by me that will focus on personal power, that will focus on attracting and manifesting your goals and desires. And we're going to be using a proven step-by-step method taught by Bob Proctor, Chanel Cooper Sykes. I have been a student of these successful multi-millionaire teachers for years. And I am offering this training, and what we're going to do is we're going to put our energies together. You're going to be held accountable every week. You'll have lessons every week that will help you begin to mine out, decipher, get very clear and pristine energy around what you're desiring, what you want, and help you decide, hey, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to have. So the training is a huge investment into your wealth and the legacy for yourself and your family and your children to come. And so I invite you to join the Mindset Mastermind. Go ahead and click on the link, and you will be able to see all the juicy details. We are starting ASAP. We are starting now. Okay, so from the moment that you receive this recording is the moment that it starts for you. Now I invite you to make the decision right now and to plant this seed, to make the investment in yourself. Plant this seed, this monetary seed, into this program that has proven results for multimillionaires like Bob Proctor and Chanel Cooper Sykes. If you don't know who they are, look them up. But this process will help you manifest and attract all that you need and what you want, okay? So click on the link and I'll see you inside.